Members of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry who attended this morning's workshop on improving productivity in the workplace for their enterprises must wonder if the idea was an oxymoron. After all, they could be more productive at their workplaces. But Vice President for Commerce, Rufino Lin, says a different perspective is needed.
Productivity is all around us. Anybody who owns a vehicle will measure how many miles they get per gallon. That is a level of productivity. The engagement today is productivity in the workplace. How do we improve our outputs from the inputs that we put into any business enterprise? Today's workshop is to bring together a wide sector of employers and representatives of the labor union to be able to work together and engage in that public discussion of improving productivity in the workplace.
What would be the main discussions around the table today with all the participants?
I'm sure that we will focus on the types of inputs that we have. We have in the generation of goods and services, we have the inputs of labor, we have capital, we have also materials that we use to produce goods. So the discussion will be on how can we make more efficient use of those inputs to produce goods and services in the economy.
President Nikita Usher told us that Belize, which lags behind its Caribbean neighbors in terms of productivity and competition in business, must have its three arms of labor, employers, trade unions, and government work together to change the state of affairs.
The Chamber is the lead organization for the ILO. We've partnered with the ILO. We've had funding from the EU to as much as possible trying to improve productivity in the workplace. The Chamber has invited more than just entrepreneurs, but also the union as well as the government, because it will involve a three-pronged approach. It takes the union, it takes the employers, and it takes government if there's need for any regulatory changes. And that's what we're hoping to come out of this session today.
ILO advisor Vanessa Fala says information is also key.
In some of the countries that we've seen, particularly those that seem to be doing well as far as productivity is concerned, is where you have a dedicated institution or a dedicated administration that is responsible for collecting data, that is responsible for measuring productivity, and also, looking at the trends in terms of how the country is faring towards productivity. So you do need to look at ways and the feasibility of having a dedicated structure in place that is responsible for measuring and for, over time, looking at the productivity trends.
Only good things, says Lynn, can come from this endeavor.
Productivity is achieved over a period of time. And the important thing about productivity is really the mindset, the knowledge of the tools available to measure productivity so that we can ensure that the resources we have available are used in an optimum way to generate the goods and services that we are that the economic unit is engaged in producing.
Aaron Humes reporting for News 5.